Now, maybe you're already an expert on heated hoses, in which case this video is probably not for you, but if you're somebody who's considering buying a heated hose for livestock and you've never bought one before, like us, this is the video for you. We have 2 horses and they need water. It's obviously cold out and our hose was freezing, and so we couldn't use it. So we're having to do bucket brigade constantly, which is exhausting. If you have livestock and you do bucket brigade, you know how I feel. We had to leave on vacation and I wanted to make things easier for our horse sitter, so I went to the feed store and I asked about getting a heated hose. Now, they were out of heated hoses in the livestock section, so they sent me to the RV section and they had this, which is, as you can see on the box, a cold weather heated drinking water hose. This particular hose is Camco and it's BPA free and it's for drinking water, and it can be used up to -20 Fahrenheit. The first thing you need to know about buying one of these hoses is that they are not really very pliable. It takes quite a bit to bend them or to move them and straighten them out, actually. We could stretch the hose out to be about 21 feet altogether, but that still was not long enough for us to get it into the stalls where our horses are. So we were still having to move buckets, and if you're gonna move the bucket 10 feet to the hose, you might as well move it 20 feet to the spigot. The other issue is that it needs to be plugged in. Obviously, I don't know, maybe you knew that already, but it needs to be plugged in, and if you don't have an outlet within 6 feet of your hose, then you're going to have to get an extension cord. Now, I will show you what happened to our extension cord in a minute, but if you read the directions with this hose, which I often don't do but did this time, they say you should not use an extension cord because you shouldn't have this electrical cord plugged into an extension cord in a wet environment on the ground, which, if I followed the directions, would make this completely useless because you're plugging it into a spigot and trying to get it to livestock. You probably don't have electrical outlet right immediately in the area, so you're going to need an extension cord. Now, maybe you can figure out a way to keep it dry, which I did. We sort of positioned it under the ledge of the barn, but here's the problem. If you see here, something thought this extension cord was very tasty. We think it was a raccoon, and it chewed through to the wire. So it was not just a electrical hazard, it was a fire hazard for us, and that was useless. That was just a couple days in. So just think about all these things when you're living out with wild animals. The reason I think it was a raccoon is because I found this milk container in our barn, and I couldn't think of what other animal would be drinking milk or going through the trash and then carrying it all the way to our house. Our nearest neighbor who might have had that in their trash is a couple football fields away. So you tell me, what animal is going to carry this milk? So for all these reasons, the hose just really didn't stretch out long enough for us. The need for an extension cord that got chewed through, not having an electrical outlet that was in the immediate vicinity of the heated hose, this was a bust for us. I think it's meant more for being in a stationary place like an RV where you're hooking it up in a secure environment. You don't need an extension cord and you're not dealing with wild animals necessarily all over the place. Now, we may keep it because we do have an RV, an Airstream that many of you know we're renovating, so maybe it'll serve some purpose down the road, but I may also return it to the feed store because they're pretty cool about taking things back. It's brand new. It's been used twice, I think. So anyway, this is just to say, let me know what you think we should do with this in the comment section, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.